PTCGO is undergoing maintenance later today, so I kind of have to get this video out. Hey everybody, Nick from 9card TCG, and today we are going to be looking at another single strike deck, mostly because, well, I really like single strike, and a couple of people in my Discord have mentioned this deck to me, so we got to go and try it out. So today we're looking at Tornadus VMAX. We'll start with Tornadus V. It is a 210 colorless single strike Pokemon, and it has some attacks that we're not really going to talk about because we don't really want to use Tornadus V too much. We want to go up to Tornadus VMAX 320 HP colorless. It is weak to lightning, but post rotation we don't expect to see a lot of it, and it does have a resistance to fighting, which is very, very nice against other Urshifus, specifically because that's really the only fighting type Pokemon we see. Blasting Wind, 2 colorless energy, 60 damage. Max Wind Spirit is the attack of choice. It is a 4 colorless energy attack, but it does 120 base. If there's another stadium in play, it does another 120 damage, and then you get to discard that stadium. Now, seeing as how Chaotic Swell is rotating out by the time this video actually goes up, Chaotic Swell and all the cards from before Sword and Shield will have rotated from standard format. So, stadium battles are going to be kind of a thing, and with Path to the Peak being pretty popular and a bunch of other stadiums, it's not going to be too hard to use Max Wind Spirit and get that extra damage. What also makes this deck a little bit, I don't want to say better than Single Strike Urshifu, but is that since Tornadus is a colorless Pokemon, you can make use of powerful colorful energy, you can make use of powerful colorless energy, which does 20 extra damage to your attacks when attached to a colorless type Pokemon. So you can use colorless energies, and you can use powerful colorless energy. You can also use I guess you can use hiding dark energy. That's not what I wanted to show. You can use capture energy to make forward progress towards attacking with Tornadus VMAX, and we also have, of course, single strike energy, so you can really increase or beef up the damage you're doing with an attack without necessarily having to constantly use single strike roar or rely too much on how many single strike energies are in your deck. And I do think that's an important thing to note. That's one of the things that really limit single strike Urshifu or single strike decks in general, is that you are relying on having as many copies of single strike energy in your deck as possible to use Houndoom's ability. And if you don't draw the Urn, or you don't draw the Houndoom or whatever that you need when you need it, you're kind of in trouble. So not needing to rely on is pretty nice. We are running 4 copies of Houndoom, and we are running a 2-2 line of Umbreon V and Umbreon VMAX, mostly because it provides really nice psychic type coverage, and seeing as how Dragapult and Shadow Rider Calyrex are pretty popular, it's nice to be able to hit psychic types for weakness. Also, we have the Dark Signal ability, which when we play this card from our hand to the bench to evolve our Umbreon V, we can move one of our opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. Super nice, because it's basically boss's orders without needing to use your supporter for the turn, so you can still dig with Marnie or Professor's Research to find the Urn or that one card you need to get the knockout. Overall, the deck is going to look very, very similar to every other single strike deck. There tends to not be, man, I'm having a lot of trouble speaking today. There tends to not be a ton of variation between single strike decks, simply because you rely so heavily on things like Evolution Incense. Recently, Great Ball has been added to a lot of single strike Urshifu and Umbreon decks. Your reliance on things like Urn of Vitality. I know I showed a couple other cards that are really in every single deck, but you really need your Urns, your Towers, your Houndooms, and just so much of your core is already built that there's not a ton of room for variation, like I said. So we're not going to spend too much time talking about Tornadus V's deck list. If you want to see the full thing, you can check it out in the video description, but let's get straight to some gameplay. Going into the first match, I would just like to say, if this is the first time you're checking out the channel, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. If you want to see more, definitely hit the subscribe and bell notification so you never miss another video. Leaving likes and comments are the best way to tell YouTube that this is a good video and other people should watch it. Looks like both me and my opponent are starting off with the mulligan, so that's always exciting. And we get our Tornadus V ready to go. Not bad, not bad. The rest of the hand is not particularly good, just because we would really like to have a Houndoom set up turn 2. We really want some type of draw ability, so not super great. Not super great, but we will be able to at least get a Crobat. Hopefully we can get a Marnie. ADP, I mean, today is September 9th. It's the last day to be able to play your pre-rotation decks before they get rotated, because that's what pre-rotation is. One of the benefits of Tornadus V compared to regular single strike Urshifu is that it's not weak to psychic types, so you don't necessarily have to worry about getting a poor matchup against something like Shadow Rider or Dragapult, which has become pretty popular after winning. Did it win Pug or something? It won a big tournament, and yeah, so you're not weak to psychic, but we have Umbreon to take care of our psychic type weakness, and we no longer hit dark types or even electric types for weakness, or that's pretty much it. So nothing is weak to colorless, so you lose hitting things for weakness, but you're not getting hit for something that you are weak to very often, just because lightning is not particularly popular or common in the meta right now. So, trade-off. Our opponent here having just a wild turn. They are doing everything they can. Thinning out that deck. No metal energy attachment. We get a second energy. We'll discard an Umbreon. We do need to desperately try to draw some cards, even though I would rather get the Houndour. We get 2. Beautiful. We can't really do too much else, so we are going to just hit ADP for 40 damage. If there was a stadium, it would do 60. Not that it is a huge difference, 40 to 60. So they get an energy switch. Interesting. Alter Creation uses... Oh, well, there it is. Now they're fully set up. They could Ultimate Ray, right? Hit into me for 180 damage, or actually be 150 damage. Power up their Zacian in the back, which could be pretty problematic. So it's interesting. I'll be interested to see, do they AC this turn, or do they go straight into attacking, be kind of aggressive? We'll be able to get 3 energy, so we won't be able to hit with Blasting Wind. They are going to switch out a Houndour. It's really unfortunate, man. Oh god, that's just terrible. Because now it's like, man, we are in so much trouble. We started with just a very unfortunate hand. We'll put it here, because we could always get it back with Urn. And we'll do this, I guess. I can't quick ball for another Crobat because I don't have one. So Blasting Wind here will do 100 damage, not really a ton. Yeah, let's go ahead. If you notice, I brought up the Houndour. I evolved to the Houndour on the bench because Houndour has a retreat cost of 1, Houndoom has a retreat cost of 2. So if I would have evolved the Houndour in the active spot, it would have been stuck there because I don't have an Air Balloon or a Switch to get it out of the active. So it's much easier to just attach 1 energy and then retreat it versus trying to get 2 on there. They are going to Marnie, which is just... Oh boy, that was much needed. A much needed Marnie. We get some, okay, now we're able to do a little bit of work, and they concede. Weird. Interesting. Let's see if we can get a better start going into game number 2. You know, if you want to learn how to play the Pokemon trading card game just a little bit better, I do have a Discord link in the video description, and it's a small but growing community of people who play test and give deck advice and try to help each other out finding the cards they need if you are trying to trade for something. So if you're interested, you could definitely join, and I get to go first this time. We definitely want to go first. This is a better hand, although we would really like to see just one energy in our hand to start. It's very unfortunate when you whiff energy first turn, especially for something like single strike, because typically your energy requirements are pretty high. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of a quick ball, I guess. We'll drop the Crobat. Actually, no, we won't. We're going to drop the Urn. And we're going to get another Houndour. Houndour is so important. We might be playing a PikaRom, which is like, of course we're going to be playing a lightning deck, right? Like, why would we not? Why would we? The one time we play something weak to lightning, we get hit with a lightning deck. Like, what is this? What even is this? I'm sure our opponent's thrilled to see this. Now, obviously, if we had Urshifu instead of Tornadus, we'd be hitting them for weakness, and it'd be a much easier matchup because a single impact blow from Urshifu can knock out any of their Pokemon in one go. And so now we're going to be taking double damage from their electric type attacks. Sorry, Jerry's in here, and he had to shake violently. What are you doing, buddy? Come here. Now you get to come on. Okay. Say hi, everybody. Okay, he doesn't like, he's very camera shy. I don't know what his deal is. He doesn't like to appear on camera, even though he doesn't know what a camera is because he's a dog. Okay. Say goodbye, Jerry. You know, that's actually not a terrible hand. Like, it's not great, but it's not terrible. Because we can tower away the Urn, draw 2 cards, get some Evolution Incense going for Houndour. We'll see what we draw, though. We draw Marnie. That's actually really good. So let's go ahead and Evolution Incense, get our Houndooms. And yeah. So now what we're going to do is we are going to thin out the deck before we go and actually do any type of draw, because I want to try to get as much energy as possible. Oh my god. So PikaRom here is going to has 240 health. Blasting Hammer does 180. 200, 220, 240, but I don't have the energy to do it. Oh my god, no. So we're gonna have to, and their attack does 150, that'll be 300. I only have 280, so that will be enough to KO me. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I think we Marnie. We get the energy, but we can't boss now. So we'll quick ball away. Nothing. I'm not going to quick ball away anything just yet. Oh god, that's so heart-wrenching. You get an Umbreon, not bad, and a powerful, colorful energy. Would have loved to have had that before I had a Marnie, because then I could have bossed up their PikaRom and take the KO. But now it looks like we're going to get counter KO. They're going to Marnie first. They might not have the energy. Because if they did, they would have played it right before your Marnie to ensure that it's on the field. We do get another Tornadus. There's the energy. Of course, it's a draw energy. This is where something like Duraludon would have been really useful, because Duraludon can't get hit by any Pokemon that has special energy attached to it. So they are going to take the knockout, which is really tough because it's 3 of our single strike energies going into the discard pile. And without an Urn of Vitality, we already got rid of 2. And I think we only played one more. We played 3 total. So we're kind of in a tough spot here. What are the odds of PikaRom the day? I mean, oh God. That's tragic. We are going to lose this simply because of weakness. That's the only reason we're going to lose this game. Do I even have another single strike energy? No, it's prized. It is prized. Yeah, that's all I can do. Man, that's like the huge problem with single strike at the moment is you typically, and they get the boss, so we are gonna lose this. They're gonna boss up my Tornadus. The energy cost, the energy requirement for single strike Pokemon is just so high that if you miss a single energy, and even then I really didn't miss any energies because of Houndooms, you still are in. You could still be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, so we do lose this game. It doesn't really matter what we do, because any one of their Pokemon can knock out mine. And I'm dead drawn here, so we'll give them the well played for sticking with the PikaRom even till the end. I feel like I should have expected pre-rotation decks, particularly tag teams, the day before rotation happens, to just be really popular because people want to get the value out of them as much as they can. We're going to choose Tails. We lose. So let's see who... yep, we're going to go second. Okay, this is not a bad hand. This is not a bad hand. Because we can get a Tornadus into the active pretty easily. Bronzor. Oh, we're playing a Duraludon deck. That's terrible for us because, well, we use a lot of special energy. And we don't have single strike Urshifu to ignore the Skyscraper ability. So let's do this. We are absolutely going to Marnie, because I don't like their hand being that big. They're playing a dragon type Duraludon, which is interesting though. Let's go ahead and tower, get a couple extra cards. Let's quick ball away this Switch. We don't really need it right now. And let's get another Houndour, I think. And now we can go ahead and just mean look 450 damage. We'll be able to guarantee the Moonlight Blade next turn, providing we don't get Marnie, because Evolution Incense into a Houndoom, and then we can capture energy to get like a Tornadus onto the field or another Umbreon, and then we can research and get a fresh hand. And there's the Metal Duraludon. Interesting that they're running both. That's interesting. There goes the Marnie, because I said as long as we don't get Marnied, and then naturally the universe, like if you say you don't want to get Marnied, you must get Marnied. And they're going to Intrepid Sword. Hopefully we can get something pretty decent off this top deck. They are whiffing energies pretty hard. Another single strike energy, so that's going to get tossed. let's Evolution Incense, shall we? For another Houndoom. We'll drop. We can attach. We'll single strike roar. Attach. You have 220, you have 220, you have 220. This does 160, 180, 200, 220. So I can take my pick. So I am going to, yes, take the Zacian. Because I don't want them to continue to draw. And there we go. So they're going to give me the Duraludon, the Dragon type one. They can't. Do they have any metal energies? They do have one. They could, in theory, Metal Saucer and then evolve into what's his face, Bronzong. Pokemon Communication, a card that will be rotated out tomorrow. So enjoy it while it lasts. They're going to research. So I can no longer hit Duraludon VMAX. They miss whatever they're looking for. They go ahead and tower away their Duraludon V. We just keep getting energies. I don't really want to discard all these. Go ahead, we'll capture, we'll get a Umbreon on the bench. And let's go ahead and research. Go ahead. We do have one single strike energy in the discard pile. So let's okay, that's fine. And I think that's really all we can do right now. So we're done. We're gonna pass because we can't hit them because of Skyscraper. Path to the Peak is a card that just crushes Duraludon because then you can't really rely on the Intrepid Sword. You can't use whatever it's called, the Dauntless Shield from Zamazenta, and you can't even use the Skyscraper ability from Duraludon VMAX. They do Marnie us, which is a little unfortunate. We had an Evolution Incense and an Energy and a Research, and what more do you really need? We get the Research though, and we'll be able to get into the Houndoom. It is unfortunate that they get a second Duraludon out, but hey, now there's a Crobat that we can attack. So let's go ahead and evolve. We'll drop the I guess it doesn't really matter too much. We get a scroll that we can throw onto this guy. Let's see if we can find we don't find an Umbreon. We find a Crobat. That's fine. We can draw a couple of cards before we research. And of course we get all those researches, which is just unfortunate. I need to find another Umbreon. I gotta hit into this Crobat. I gotta be able to do something. We get an Evolution Incense, so we can go ahead and get an energy on here. Evolution Incense. Oh, it must be prized. So that's unfortunate. And we'll go ahead and give the same kind of sentiment to our opponent here, but they're going to be able to wall us until we deck out or until they do something. They're going to research. They're really looking for that Bronzong. I do not know where it is. They just need one. There's an Evolution Incense. Now they're going to be able to hit into us for 220 damage, and there's really nothing we can do at this point. They get rid of the Crystal Cave, heal a little bit. Yeah, we're in, they get the Metal Saucer too. We can just go ahead and move it right over, and now we're in a lot of trouble. We do have a boss, right? We can go ahead and take this Crobat. So we might as well do that. Let's see what we can get. We get a Marnie and a Houndoom. Not the Umbreon we wanted, right? Because we should still have, we have two. Oh, the last, oh, we have one more. The last one's prized. That is extremely unfortunate. We'll give him the Houndoom, I guess. We don't really have too many options. Just trying to see what we got. Not a lot. We do have one Urn, a couple of quick balls. Can't believe it. So I think we lose. And they get what they need. They have both Duraludon set up. It took them a while, but they got there, and that's the important thing. You know, Skyscraper's a really solid ability. I truly think people underestimated how good Duraludon was gonna be. Yeah, so we do lose. There's nothing I can do. And we'll give him the old well played. So let's go ahead and move on to the objective deck analysis for this deck. Obviously, basic outcomes. We are, you know, only a couple of games in, so we're going to ignore the win-loss ratios and everything. We're going to ignore the actions per turn. For the most part, you can see we drew a lot of cards. In the games that we've won, we actually drew more cards, and we played fewer things. We attached more energies, which isn't surprising. We activated more abilities when we won. Again, not surprising. If we look at our average energy efficiency, so the damage dealt per energy attached, it is pretty low. And in the games we won and lost, we did about the same damage per energy attached. So a little hard to say. The game we did win, we were able to put more energy on our Pokemon, and we did about 120 damage per prize card taken, which makes sense, right? 240 damage to take 2 prize cards. We're in that range, so yeah, that all makes sense. Really, the thing that I think we could be doing more or better is our attack efficiency. The number of attacks per prize card taken, we need to decrease that, right? We need to take fewer attacks to get prize cards, so we can't be attack a 2 prize Pokemon twice. Single strike does not work that way, and you can see that because we lost a couple games. So we have to be able to hit really hard and take those knockouts. Our attack efficiency, again, the number of attacks per prize card taken in the game where we won. The game we won was a little weird, so I don't really want to count it. As you play this, it'll definitely change. But to have a 1-to-1 attack for prize card for single strike just doesn't work, and that's really the take-home message here. Our average total damage in the game we won is going to be different because our opponent conceded kind of quickly, so we can't really rely on this. And that's something to think about when you're doing these analyses, is that you can't look at it as this is exactly what my deck does, because you have to take into consideration the number of turns and what happened during the course of a game. Obviously, once you have 20-30 games, you're not going to remember them all, but that's fine because it's a bigger sample size. The main highlight here is this attack efficiency needs to increase, and number of attacks made per turn, we need to increase that. We need to be able to attack more consistently. So those are the two highlights that I want to make, and when you're playing these decks, something you should be looking for. But there we go, that's going to do it for us today. I definitely think if we didn't have a weakness to PikaRom, we might have had a chance, but unfortunately we did. We won't have to really worry about it too much moving forward, so I would be interested to see this in a post-rotation format. I think it can perform pretty well, but just to have an attack that does 120 damage base if there's no stadium for 4 energies really kind of bums me out. It really does turn off the deck to me. You should be at least hitting for consistent 220 damage taking out a Pokemon V for 4 energies. If you're not, I don't really like it. Other than that, the big problem I have is that when you use these attacks, it discards the stadium, and if your opponent's smart, they're not going to put another stadium into play because you don't have any real abilities that you need except for Umbreon, and they're going to give you free damage if they do. So you only have a couple stadiums in deck if they're prize, or you discard them, or your opponent plays their own stadiums. Like I think it's a little harder to get consistent damage with Tornadus simply because you need that stadium. Not a huge fan, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this deck, of the gameplay, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like I said, if hitting the subscribe and bell notification are the really good ways to help support the channel. And if you really want to help the channel grow, leave that comment and hit the like button so that YouTube knows this is a good video and other people will be able to see it. But that's gonna do it for us today. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.